talk about how to interpret the Bible. This is one thing that we don't want to do when we interpret the Bible, is to come up with heresy. One of my students made this for me, and I had to use it once in class in preaching. A student said what Jesus should have said was, and then he proceeded to say what Jesus should have said, and so I held up the sign to show that was heresy. So how do we keep ourselves from going to heresy? Well, there's a process we go through. There are some technical terms like historical critical analysis, text is set text, and reader's response. But I would like to make it simple for us and be a three-step process, and I'd love to be able to teach a seminar on this sometime. The first step is observation. When you just observe, and try to determine what does the text say. Look for words that are repeated. Look for the logic and the flow of the thought. Ask questions. Who wrote this? To whom did they write it? Where were they? When were they? What was the purpose? What did the people understand those things to say? We can determine that. That's a very helpful step. Number two, however, builds upon it. It's called interpretation. Interpretation means to interpret what it meant to the author and to the recipients, at least taking that step. What did the author mean when he wrote this word? How do the people who received this understand it at that particular time? And so we go through the process of trying to get in their mind as best we can. And obviously that's a very difficult task, 2,000 years for the New Testament, but we can still be able to follow the logic of someone, and we can get into their heart as we really ask those questions and try to look at it from their perspective. And then the third is application. What does it mean to me? So we went from what does it say, what does it mean, that is to the author and to the recipients, and then what does it mean to me? And that can be the church as a whole, and it can be me personally. I think that as we look at the text, when the text and we are in a similar situation, we can apply that very directly. But when we do not find ourselves in a similar situation, we can then take the principle in that process. I have a saying that I like to always get across, that here's a yarmulke, that when you read the Bible, you have to put on your yarmulke. You need to think like a Jewish person, because almost all the books were written by Jews. And if you can think like they do, be able to see life from their perspective because of their culture, their times, then we can find the wonderful truths of the Word of God for us, and we'll stay away from that terrible word, heresy.